Now that we know how to output texts and we also know something about data types, we now need to understand how you can input your own data. For example, sometimes you want to take input from somebody and you don't know the exact value. So what you will do is you will need to assign or accept an input from a user. So this part is going to guide you through how to accept user input, and then we will get to talk about operators which are going to be used to manipulate numbers, text, and data. So to begin with, let's look at how you're going to accept an input of a string or a text. So for example, you want to input your name. So you're going to ask somebody, input your name. Anything that actually appears within these double quotes can be changed. So this one, for example, you can just ask for name as it is. But then because we want this text to be readable, we add some space so that it will begin after this space. So if you run this, now you are going to have to see this part here, name. So you're going to enter your name. So that is, for example, my name is Omae, and then when you run, it comes out as a string. But if now we want it in whole, we can just say input, enter your name. So when we run this, it is going to ask you to enter your name, and that is going to be Omae. And then when we run, now this is going to be Omae. But now the question is, how then can you use this name later? So what you need to do, you need to assign a variable. We have already talked about how you're going to define a variable, but then, for example, if we want now to call this variable name, then you just write the variable name, and then you're going to use the assignment operator. We're going to talk about operators shortly, that is the equal sign. But then after that, now you're going to ask the user to input. Now, when we run this, it is going to ask you to enter the name, and now you can enter your name here. The name is the management diary. Then when we run this, now it is going to output this question and what we've just entered. But the output itself, as in this case, it is not provided. If we want to see how we have stored, what we have stored in this variable, then we have to call that variable here, and then we are going to have now the name as the management diary. Now, the question is, what data type do we have here? This is going to be a string data type. So if you want to prove that, you're going to have to run that. And now you can see that the input has come out as string. And we are going to see why this is important in a short while. Now, going back to our example of the area of a rectangle, I would like us to ask the user to input the length and the width of the rectangle. So, for example, you're asking the user, enter the length of the rectangle. Now, if we run this, it's say, for example, you're going to say the length of the rectangle is 25. Now, if you want to ask for the width, you will repeat the same. And then when we run this, you're going to get the width. Let's say it is 30. If now we come down here and call length and width, then we are going to find, for example, our length is that 25 and our width is 30. Now, how can we calculate the area? We already said area is equal to length times width. So I would like to show you something here. If we run this, what do we get? This is an error. Why is this an error? I said, if you see this output here, it is in double quotes. So it means it is in string format. So the data type here is in string format. So if we want to check that, we can see that it is actually string, but you cannot multiply strings. So what you will need to do is you will have to change the data type from string to integer. And I think we talked about that before we actually started this section. If you did not get it well, maybe you may want to go back there and check so that you can get the whole picture. So if we try now to change length into integer, then we are going to have now our new data type, that is length, is going to be 25, which is actually different from what we have up here. So if we check the data type for the length, then it's going to be integer. Now we can repeat this for every other variables that we have. And going back to our example up there, so it means we can change the type of length to integer. But now the problem is you actually won't be needing to every other day you want to ask the user to input the value first, then you are going to change that value into any data type that you want. If you are sure that width should be an integer and length should be an integer, instead of it outputting or storing the value in the variable as a string, you can actually assign it directly while you are writing your code. As you will notice, and in future you will notice, that writing efficient codes is one of the key things that you need to understand while you're trying to get your work done. So, for example, we could have assigned width specifically using the defined data type. So one of the data type that we usually talked about up there when we were talking about numerical data types, we said we have an integer data type and we also have a float data type. An integer is a whole number. A float contains a decimal. So if, for example, I assign width as a float data type and I say my width is 10, it's actually going to be stored as 10.0. So that is because we have defined this as a float data type. But now if I change this to int, then it means it is going to have to be stored just as an integer. So we have now our two data types as integer. The first one is the length and the second one is the width. Now we can proceed to calculate the area of a rectangle. As we said, that is length multiplied by width, and that is going to give us 250. But then this is also not stored. For example, this is not stored in any variable. So we can define a variable called area, and then we assign this value so that when every other time we calculate the area, we can just assign the formula, assign the values, and then we can call this. We can also use the print function. Print, we said print usually outputs a certain value that has already been stored or a text that we want to output. So if, for example, we want to use print and then we call this variable area, here, as you can see, it is not in double quotes, so it means this is a variable. But if we added this quote here, then this is no longer a variable, but rather it is a string. So for example, if I run this, it is going to print this word because we defined this as a string. But now if we define this as a variable, then it means if I run this, now it is going to give us this value of 250. Now, the user or somebody who is on the other side would wonder, what actually is 250? So you may want to output this as a complete statement, as a sentence, so that whoever is using this can understand that you're actually talking about the area. How do you do that? So you're going to simply write print, then this string contains information about what you're trying to output, and finally you're going now to call this as a variable. So when we print this, it's going to tell you the area of the rectangle is 250. But is this the most efficient way to write your code? Definitely not. Because we have a lot of repetition. We have a lot of things that we could have actually done away with. And I can't blame you, or nobody's going to blame you if this happens to you at this level. But now as you advance, you're going to have to learn more efficient ways to write your code. And one way you could do that is using this list. So for example, you can accept a lot of inputs. So we want length and width input simultaneously. And this can be done by simply accepting an input, but you're going to have to split. So when you run this, now you will enter the length. For example, we said it is 10, but now you will have to add space and your width will be like 20. So it means this first one here defined as length, the second one is defined as width. So when you run this, you're going to get this output. Now the only problem is that these values are actually in string format. So it means if you want to output an area, because you cannot multiply two strings, you are going to have to change the data type at the implementation stage where you're calculating your area, and that is simply going to be area is equal to integer. Now you're going to change this data type from string to integer. So when we run this now, we have now our new function here, the area, as 200. Now we can output this as a complete statement, and this is going to be a statement containing information about the length and the width, and now as you can see here, you already see that the area of a rectangle with this length, so this is a string, and then we leave some space. Then after that, we are going to assign the value of the length that we actually input up here. Then we are also going to assign the value of width that we actually input up here. Then this text is what we are going to see on the screen. You need to be very careful because we have here double quote, then a text, then double quote, then after that we have a comma. Then we can now put the variable name. So we said the variable is something like the length. Then after that again we do a comma, and then we start a double quote, from which now we are going to have another string. So when we run this is what you have. The area for a rectangle with the length 10 and width 20 is 200. Again, is this the best way to write? No. So this, when you write this, somebody is actually going to know you're actually getting started. One alternative you can use is using an F string. So this is one clever way to do it. So it means you're going to do like print, then use the F string, the total area of a rectangle is, then you're going to assign it as it is. So when we run this, it does give us exactly the same thing that we got up here. Sorry, right here. So this one here is called an F string. So that is one way you can learn to output your results. As we have noticed, this one here is going to output this value, but we may want this value to be output as a list. So how do you do that? Of course, you can just use this list keyword here. So this one creates a list. And again, we talked about lists under the data type. So instead of you having to define this data type later as the integer, because here you actually got the data type out first, then after that you had to come and change it to integer because it was a string. You can define it within the call function. So when you're writing a code that is going to accept the input, everything will be defined in one code. So in short, now that is going to, when you run this, you're going to have to enter those values the same way we just did. For example, the length is 10, space, and your width is 20. Now, when you run this, you're going to get a list. And this is what we call a list. We already talked about lists. But then, how do you access, for example, something like the length? Now, given this list, then we can assign, we know this first value here is the length, and we know this second value here is the width. So we can actually assign that the name, length, and width, because this so far does not have a name. And this here is going to show you how you're going to access. So I said Python begins counting from 0. So when you write like this, you're actually telling the computer or the code to understand it as follows. This length and width is the name that you defined for your input up here. Then you're going to tell it, so this thing here that you have, this list is what is called, the PC understands it as this. So what you're going to do now is you're going to tell it, I want to access the first value. The first value is 10, but it doesn't begin from 1, it begins from 0. So you're going to have to begin counting from 0. So this statement in a layman language, it means access the list containing 10 and 20, but then from this list output only the first value. And this first value is going to be called length. So if you run this, and now we ask what is our length? So it is going to be 10. And this 10 is an integer because we already defined up here the output to be an integer. You might find this a little bit confusing for now. So I'll take you back here and give you now an easier and more straightforward way to do it. So you're going to ask the user to enter an input, to enter the length, to enter the width. If you write this code, this is what this code does in simple terms. It is asking you to enter the length and width. So how you're going to do that is you're going to enter a value and then add space, then add another value. Then after that, it takes those two values and converts them from string to integer. So that is what we have here. So it converts them from string to integer. Then after it has converted them from string to integer, it multiplies them and then assigns them to a variable called area. So from this point onwards, area means integer length multiplied by the integer width. Then after that, now we can output our results. And how do we output our results? We can just say print the area of the rectangle with length. Then we call this function here length, and width. Then it's going to take the value of width, and then finally this is a string, and then it's going to output the area. Now we're going to enter 10 for your length, then add space, then width, let's say it is 56. Now we have all the values that we need. Then you are going to click enter, or run in short. Then after that, it's going to do the calculation for you and then tell you the area for a rectangle with the length 10 and width 56 is 560. Now write a simple code of something like you're going to ask somebody to enter their age and then to also enter their level of education, and then after that it's going to output you are X years old and you have studied up to level X. I hope that is simple.